Sing me a song of a lass that is gone, say could at last be I. Weary of soul, she sailed on a day over the sea to the sky. Yay! I finished Outlander, the first book that I finished in 2015, and I have to say that with this book I broke my own record, which was reading about 650 pages, I think so, with The Host by Stephanie Meyer, and Outlander has 863 pages. So that's great, that is fantastic. I am so happy about it. I've never read a book with all of those pages, and it's totally worth it. So Outlander was created in 1992. I wasn't even born at the time. By Diana Gabaldon. I found the first half of the book really difficult for me to understand it because Diana has a really special way to say something. For example, when they're speaking with Scottish accent, she actually writes the Scottish accent. And for me that was a freaking nightmare. It really was. Because I was like, what the hell are they saying? Like, I couldn't understand at first. And then I thought, okay, perhaps if I watch the first episode, then I'll understand the way that they speak. And it was actually really helpful. And I saw the first episode, and then I came back to the book. And then I saw the second episode, and then I came back to the book. And it was like I watched the series as I was reading the book. So I think that is one of the easiest ways for you to read the book. It's like comparing things and understanding what's going on, because I was also having like too much trouble trying to memorize the faces and names. So I was about to give up on the book, and then I realized that perhaps also watching the series would be helpful, and it really, really was. So the story is about this woman, Claire, and she lives in 1945. She was war nurse, and then one day she goes to the second honeymoon with her husband Frank, and they go to Scotland. And then one day she goes to a hill with stones, and it is called Craignadoon. And then she's sent back in time to 1743. And that is when she meets Jamie and all of the Fraser family, and it's when the adventure really, really starts. So back to Frank. Frank was a spy in the Second World War, so he's also a very mysterious character. And I think that actually the series gives more time for us to understand the character than it is given in the book, and I think that's really, really great. Back to 1743, Claire meets Blackjack, and he's an ancestor of Frank, and it's like really curious to see because she somehow sees Frank on that villainy character, and then he's nothing like Frank, but it's almost impossible not to compare it to him because it's like it's family business. And Blackjack, he's like really, really good villain. And in the end of the book, he does something horrible to Jamie, and that was the moment that I want to get inside that book and I want to kill him. And when I want to kill a character, it means that I really, really despise them. And then we have Dougal. Dougal is a Fraser, and he's like also a very mysterious character, and I think that I really don't know how to explain what I feel about Dougal, because he's amazing, but he's too honest, and then he's too bad. So it's like I really don't get the character yet, but I'm hoping that I'll understand a little bit better on the second book. So now we have Jamie. Jamie is really sweet and caring, and he's really handsome too, I have to admit it. And he's like the love interest of Claire, and he's also like really Scottish. That is the perfect definition for him. He's really Scottish. And he's also very stubborn, And I think that is when Jamie and Claire's personality is really crash, and then they're they're shouting at each other and they're arguing, and it's like I think they're going to break a window or something, but then they manage like to get together again, and I think that is what it is so special about their relationship. So I saw a trailer on the other day by a Portuguese channel called TV series, TV series, and they made like a really nice trailer. I'm going to put the link below, and so you can have the opportunity to watch. I know that some things are in Portuguese, but I hope you understand and I hope you like it, because it starts like Scotland has many secrets, and then there's another line when Claire's future is now in the past, and I was like, whoa, that really explains what's going to happen. And they have like very important scenes of the first episode, so please do watch it because it's totally worth it. I would recommend this book for someone who's over 17 because it has like really sexy but also really bloody scenes. Like it wasn't easy for me to read. I mean, there are like some fighting scenes and some like really rough scenes for me, and I was like, okay, I need to stop. I really need fresh air just to go back again to this scene because it was like really emotional. So please, I think that for someone who is not 17 yet, I think that they won't understand how deep the book really is and how special it also is. So the second half of the first season it returns in April, and I'm so excited, and I can't wait for it to come back because I'm like, I finished the book and now I want to see the series. I want to see how they did it. So Diana Gabaldon, she wrote an author's note in the end of the book, and I'm going to read it to you because I found this was so funny. She was having trouble about a witch hunt that they have, right down in the end, and she was like really concerned because the witch hunt ended in 1722, and the book happens in 1743, so she was having trouble trying to manage that. So she asked her husband, and then she says here, when I mentioned this difficulty to my husband, he stared at me and said, you have a book in which you start right off expecting people to believe Stonehenge is a time machine. You meet the Loch Ness Monster and you're upset because witches are 20 years too late. And I mean, it's right, it's correct what he said. I totally agree with Diana's husband because, well, let me explain it to you. Just because the last witch hunt recorded was in 1722, that doesn't mean that there were other witch hunts in 1743, for example. So just because it isn't there, it doesn't mean that it exists. I'm Teresa, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Goodbye!